Why did you take up the tribe?
Well, I mean, growing up, wanting to be a Rastafari is something I always knew that I wanted to do. So it was not something whereby I saw some, like two things I always knew I had to be was in that time a doctor, because that's how my mind was framed. A doctor, and the second thing was Rastafari. Then at that age, I would say, well, when I get everything I have, I'll grow my locks, man. You see, when I have my house, I have my land, I have my this, I have my that, I'll grow my locks. So when I left secondary school, like college, I was teaching. Probably young, I was about 18, 19, about 18 or so.
I used to teach.
Yeah, I used to teach,
That
man.
makes sense then with your presentation, then how to structure your article.
I used to teach. I taught the sciences and agriculture, and in that space, I taught for about 2 years, in fact, and then I did another job, in exporting and logistics and these type of things. I left teaching specifically because of just the atmosphere. And I just went and explore other things, and just, from that age I was about 21, and I had this, before that, about 20, and I had this experience where alcohol was something I could have never drunk. So I came from work on a Friday, and there was this daughter, the mother of my first, because I had 2 children before my empress. My first child at 21. We didn't even have children yet. I just met her, so. I drank a Guinness, not even the whole Guinness. Normally I cannot drink alcohol, so I taste the Guinness. If somebody give you a Guinness, so you taste the Guinness. Yeah? And that was it, because I was sick. And so at that time I already had my first vehicle, because I was teaching from probably young, so I understand what a loan is. I just take a loan, buy a vehicle, because you understand? So I was so sick that she had to drive me. Yeah. So we're going down this steep incline, and like I'm laid right back into the seat. Yeah. And I just about 3 days ago, I just went by a Rastaman brethren that is the kingman of her sister. And he gave me a book, and I had begun reading that book.
What book was that?
It was the autobiography of His Imperial Majesty. Right? And I just felt like the vehicle just starting to move very fast. So in the spirit I just woke up and pulled up the handbrakes. Then the vehicle just spin and just flipped. But a couple of times I landed back on the wheels, and I just saw myself in the vehicle just spinning. Like everything was like in slow motion. So many things in my life happen like that, in that slow motion, like you're going through something and everything just slow down, and just seeing yourself spinning, and and I just came out of the vehicle, and I didn't get a scratch, and she got 1 scratch. In the mental space I was, I wasn't in that space whereby my first consideration was life. I was more thinking about my little car. I might just buy my car, I have my car, just mash up, not even seeing what just happened,
You just focus about the car.
Yeah. All right, so that's just honestly. All right, so it is after, when I go back into that same book and I'm reading the book, and I went back into myself and hold a meditation and look at the whole experience and saw it for what it was. And from that point, I never cut my hair again. That was it, right? Just because of that point of being able to recognize that.
Your value system at the time.
The value system. You know, so I couldn't even love this woman enough to say, oh, Honorable, how you doing? You all right? Everything is blessed. You know? So I say, well, how can I now be entrapped in a life where my value system is over material and people? You know? So it comes to that same critical point of self-awareness. And even after I was Rastafari, for years, I'm in a business, and then some Caucasian people came in, and I'm the business owner. And I had that same experience of watching myself deal with the Caucasian people, not like my people, but better than how I would deal with someone that looks like me. Then I check, well, man, I'm Rastafari, and I still have that type of mentality within my physical structure that somebody else is better than who I am and what I represent. So that was another point whereby I see, well, many of us, we are conscious, but through epigenetics and hundreds of years of programming and genetic manipulation, right? These things, they are embedded in our DNA. You know, even the lack of self-love, as you said a while ago, that capacity to be able to critically and honestly examine what your position is, even when you think that you're enlightened. That's when I decided to say, well, I'm going to make a deliberate attempt to treat everyone the same. No. At that point in time in my life is to treat black people the same as I treat anybody else. So treat my brother. You know, treat everyone that looks like me the same. Everyone that looks like me the same. And better than. Right? To the point where, in that evolution, at where I am right now, that it's at the point where you understand, well, the great diversity of humanity. So, I mean, some people have never seen a Carib, you know, an Arak or Taino. You know, there are people who were killed through genocide, you know. There are that possess very unique and peculiar features that you'd never see again. They were wiped off. So your eyes, your optic nerve, your brain have been deprived of this stimulation, just observing, you know, a particular, you know, diversity, a unique human creation, right? So the Chinese, the Indian, the Mongol, you know, the African man, the one coming from Ethiopia, from Kenya, to the one from Ghana and Nigeria, you know, you have a plethora of different characteristics of human forms that you could look upon and you could appreciate, love it as a unique part of God's creation, right? Then you see man's diversity and the differences is the strength that man actually possesses, right? And it is also critical. That's why when a Chinese marries a Chinese, he's doing himself a favor. And also he's doing the world a favor by just maintaining the uniqueness, the phenotype of the Chinese. So there's nothing grudgeful or hateful about that. The man that wants to maintain that the beauty of the Chinese, that the Chinese could be a specimen within creation. You know, the Mongol, the Caucasian man, you know, and the Ethiopian people and the unique nature and the features that they could have this value system whereby they maintain that, because it is unique.